Neverending Chain by Dragon Translator. Chapter 161, Vacation. Toothless's father stopped at the opening to a large cavern. Hiccup could hear what sounded like explosions and saw flashes of colours. Toothless's father turned to the twins and Barf and Belch.
My oldest said you three love to explode things and pull pranks. Was he correct?
Rough and Tough bounced in place. Barf and Belch shared a glance and then stared at Hiccup with a look that was half beseeching and half resigned. Hiccup smiled. The twins revelled in exploding things. Barf and Belch just tried to keep the damage they created to a minimal, but still allow them an outlet for their unorthodox creativity. Still, Hiccup trusted no dragon with the twins more than Barf and Belch and their mate, who proved adept at keeping up with all of them. Toothless's father chuckled.
In this cavern, warriors and guards train their breath attacks. There is another form of training cavern for more strategic forms of fighting, and that is where my daughter has taken your warriors, Snotlout and Hookfang. My son. Here, these other warriors of your nest can enjoy a morning of exploding everything, so long as they remain in the cavern. I do not want my nest destroyed.
Hiccup blinked when Tough rushed forward and hugged Toothless's father, much like Hiccup hugged Toothless at times. The alpha of the nest blinked, glancing at Hiccup, then tilting his head so that he could see Tough a little.
Young one?
You are my new favourite of all our allies, Tough said. The changelings blending into things is cool, but you let us explode things. As he quickly hugged Toothless's father, Tough let him go and turned to his sister. I bet I can explode more things than you. Oh, it is on. Both teens ran into the cavern. Barf and Belch screeched, gave a fast bow to Hiccup and then rushed in after them. Hiccup heard several explosions and then heard the twins cackling. He went to step in, but Toothless placed his head in the way. We're fine! Tough yelled. Go on about your day, Rough called. Can we do that again, Mr. Night Fury? Tough said, presumably to one of the dragons in the cavern. Who are you? A female questioned. And why did you run in here without announcing yourselves? Oh, our bad. Rough said, I'm Roughnut, and this is Toughnut, and he's Barf and Belch. Barf's the better of the two. That last had been said as if she meant to whisper, but still spoke loudly. Hiccup's our boss man, and his new dad said we can blow things up. He's so cool. A white-coloured night fury stepped out of the cavern and looked at Toothless's father. Really? She asked, proving to be the one who had questioned the twins.
Toothless's father laughed. Just for the morning. I suspect they bore easily, and we are taking the others to meet the elder. I'll have someone collect them later.
The white night fury sighed but bowed, her sparkling wings spread. As you wish, my alpha. Let's hope there is a cave at the end of this, she muttered as she walked back inside. Toothless's father did not look scared or worried. In fact, Hiccup saw a gleam in his eyes that made them twinkle. His mate huffed at him, but did not do anything else, as they all started walking again. Hiccup noted Fishlegs looked over his shoulder at the cavern, then back to the alpha pair. The white night furies, he began. They don't have the same amount of sensing lobes on the black and lighter black night furies have. Their back spikes are different too. Are they the same as night furies?
They're not considered the same. They're not the same, but are considered cousins to the Windshriekers your kind call night furies, Toothless explained. At least that's what the elder tells us. Truthfully, all dragons see them as a different coloured Windshrieker, as they can fly just as fast as we can, and they shoot the same breath attack. They have an ability we do not possess, though. They can breathe their fire attack and fly through it, and blend in with their surroundings, not unlike the illusion scales.
Does this mean there's an ability your kind can perform that theirs cannot? Astrid asked as they came to a convergence of corridors.
Yes, Toothless's father answered, though it is rare, and only one Windshrieker has been known to perform it. The conversation paused a moment, as everyone realised a rowdy group was heading up one of the corridors. Hiccup gasped and heard every other human do the same, as several adults stopped and bowed to Toothless's father and mother. 3 were night furies, though one was a grey colour instead of the deep black Toothless sported, or the lighter black that Moondust was. 2 were white night furies, and Hiccup noted they sported the same dusting of sparkles the others he had seen also had. 2 were western dragons, like Shadowfire, but one was a burnt amber colour, while the other was a green and white colour. The other 6 were a mix of other species in the nest that Hiccup did not know, but had seen when he was named Prince of the Nest. "Your patrol was uneventful?" Toothless's father asked. One of the species Hiccup did not know. A dragon that was slightly taller and bulkier than a night fury stood. It sported a brown bear colour on the top of its half. The image helped along by the fact that its back scales looked like fur, and a creamy pale underbelly. It also seemed to have a beard of some sort of the pointed scales that grew from under its chin. "The sea stacks are calm, my Alpha," the unknown dragon said, its voice male. "The tiny ice bitters reported the human found something in the old human dens that excited him, but from what they could see, it looked like a flat stone. They were confused, but say he does not offer them harm, if he sees them, nor does he hide any more. It seems he has come to terms with their presence, and seems to be trying to speak to them. He does not know the common tongue, so they have no idea what he is saying." Hiccup turned to Toothless's father. "Would you like us to speak to this human, sir? Dad, and see what he is looking for?" Toothless's father tilted his head. "That would be ideal, son, but after you meet your new aunt, and after you and your brother show us just how well you two can fly." Hiccup grinned, but he noted Toothless stared at him with a stern look. "What? No jumping off this time, brother. That water is ice." Hiccup grunted and then crossed his arms over his chest. "Thought you're supposed to respect your Alpha and not order him a bow," he muttered. Toothless's father snorted. "Here, son. You are free from the responsibilities to your nest. Here, I stand in charge. Here, you can rest and be youngling instead of the Alpha." "Vacation," Shadowfire said in a sing-song voice, causing the burnt amber western dragon to jerk and stand. "You sing in the common tongue?" it asked, its voice female. Shadowfire blinked. Yeah," he said, his horns twitching. "Mum can't understand the common tongue, so I learnt to sing where she could hear and sing along with me." "Mum?" the other western dragon asked, also standing, and its voice proving to be male. "Me," Gita said with a small wave. That caused all the dragons to stare at her, wide-eyed, the ones who had been bowing standing up to do so. Hiccup would have laughed had he not been slightly annoyed at Toothless for ordering him not to jump while they showed his father their flying. He was not stupid. Winter was in full form here, and the winds were still largely unknown. Around Burke, Hiccup had started being able to read the wind by watching his brother as they flew. He knew when a wind was favourable for jumping, so that he and Toothless were not blown apart from each other. At the hatchery, the waters were warm. The air was warm. Almost uncomfortable for someone so used to the cold. While the wind patterns were new, they were not extreme like they were around the nest, where they were coming in the night before. The water around this nest also had ice floating in it, and while he was used to the cold, he did not want a bath in ice water. Both of those facts proved to sever his desire to jump off of Toothless. He felt a hand upon his shoulder, and glancing left, finding Astrid standing there. She smiled, and then slid her hand over and began to rub the back of his neck. Sharpshot shifted away to allow her. Hiccup's arms dropped, but he kept the moan he felt bubbling in his throat locked behind his teeth. No need to invite more teasing from his brother, who had not stopped even though he was courting Moondust. "We should continue on," Toothless's father said, breaking into Hiccup's thoughts and yanking Astrid to somewhere she could massage his shoulder along with his neck like she did in the hut after Mildew confronted him. Of course he would have massaged her shoulders as well. It was only right.
Before both of my sons hit the stone,
Toothless's father continued.
One because his intended smacked him with her tail, and the other because his intended seems to be able to make him freeze and droop at the same time. Elder Gita, is that another form of that magic you wield? Is Astrid learning to become a mage as well?
Hiccup felt his face burn as Shadowfire, Stormfly, Sharpshot, Sneaky and Meatlug began to cackle, and Fishlegs and Gita began snickering. End of chapter. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed this one. Sorry if my voice hasn't been great. I've been recovering from 2 horrible sicknesses, both of which made me cough rather a lot. Anyway, yeah, this one's funny and rather nice. You guys know the drill. Like, comment and subscribe, and remember to check me out on Ko-fi and Patreon, links in the description below, and make sure to have a good day, night or whatever time zone you're in. Bye my guys, gals and albino pals. I'll see you in another video. Take care.